Before going into this lesson, I would like to ask three questions. How are you all? Are you keeping well? And the third important question is, did you follow the assignment? Did you do it? You should have read the text. Yes, I hope you have read the text. I see some of you are blinking now. You should read the text, read line by line. Now, let us go into the today's class. In this video, I am going to give you three important things to do. The first one is I am going to give a recap of the summary of the part 1. And the second point is I am going to give you a summary of the part 2. And the third and a very important point is what is that we are taking away from this lesson for our life? How this lesson will have an impact on our life? What are you taking for our life? That is the most important thing. The lesson is not to study and get marks. More than that, it should affect us and it should improve our life. That is my point. Now, let us go. Said the recap, the first thing. The recap of the summary of the first part. The king asked three questions to himself and to all the wise men, the counselors, but he is not satisfied by the answers of the people. So the king is going away from his kingdom, he is meeting a hermit in the forest. There he asked the same three questions. What are these three questions that you should not forget is what is the right time to begin something? And which people should he listen to? And the third important question is, what is the most important thing to do now? Now, now the bearded man came running. He fell down in front of the king. The king saw him. That time the bearded man was bleeding from his stomach. Immediately what did the king do? He took away the bearded man and he dressed all his wounds and he put him on the bed. And the king was working all the day. Now he was also tired and he lay down on the ground. Now the next day, what happened? The bearded man opened his eyes and he saw the king. He was perplexed. Immediately asked pardon and forgiveness. The king was confused. Why this fellow is asking pardon and forgiveness to me? At the time, the bearded man started explaining the whole story. This bearded man was some way affected by the king. So king took off his property and put his brother in jail. So the bearded man came to take revenge on the king to kill him. When he came, he was stopped by the bodyguard and the bodyguard attacked the bearded man. And most surprisingly, fortunately, he came and the king saved the bearded man. So he felt very grateful to the king and he said, if you allow me, king, I will become your faithful servant. The king was also very happy because he made peace with his enemy. Now, what happened after that? Now is the most important and interesting part comes. Both of them came out of the house. And the king saw the hermit was sowing the seeds on the beds which king has prepared yesterday. Again the king went and asked the hermit, can you give me the answers for those three questions? Now the hermit replied that you have already been answered. Why are you asking those questions? And the king was wonderstruck. Me? I was already answered. How? Now the hermit started explaining that. Yesterday, when you came, when you saw me working for the whole day, you got my spade and you started digging. And that was the very important thing at that moment. And who was the very important person? I am the very important person. Immediately when you see me working very hard, looking tired, you immediately started the work. That is the right time you had begun. And the bearded man came. He was bleeding. What were you doing? Immediately you started dressing the wounds. That was a very important thing that you were doing at that time. And you started immediately. That was the right time to begin that. And who was the very important person? Obviously, the bearded man was the very important person at that time. And the hermit, with all his wisdom, concluded the main important thing of this lesson. What was that? The hermit, with all his wisdom, said that where you are being present, what are you doing is the most important thing. And the person you are meeting now is the most important person. And if you start the work at the present moment, now that is the most important thing to begin something. Now all his wisdom, what we are trying to get from this lesson, this is the very important part. What I am trying to explain to you is the nowness. Nowness, being in the present, living in the present is the most important thing in the world. If you ask me to change the title of this lesson, I will title it as Nowness, living in the present. The great gurus, Swamijis, and the intellectuals are saying that be in the present. Do whatever that is possible for you right now. Now, I am posing the same three questions to you at this moment. What is the most important thing to do now? It is to listen to my class. That is the most important thing. And who is the most important person? Now I am the most important person. For me, you are the most important children. And what I am doing now, that is the most important thing. So, have you seen the children? They will not worry about the past and they will not be fearful about the future. They live in the present. The babies, they live in the present. The kids, they live in the present. So live in the present. Don't worry about the past. We cannot go back. Don't worry about the future. We cannot do anything in the future. But the present moment is yours. This moment is yours in your hands. Now it is up to you to use this thing. So the most important thing is now. Now. Yes. Now, there are some questions that I would like to give. You know, what did the king do when he saw a wounded bearded man? After listening to the story, now you might know what did he do? Was the bearded man happy about the king's response? And why? Did the king got the answers for three questions at last? Yes. How did he got it? Three questions. Why this value of living in the present is important in your life? This is where the lesson comes to your life. Why it is important? And what is the lesson you are learning for your life? English is not subject. Syllabus is not for our life. The lesson we are learning, that is for our life. So, evaluate these questions, make a note of it, and while you are coming back, I would like to see all these lessons, all these answers for these questions. Thank you. Let us meet in the next video.